Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right. Coffee, iced tea, snacks, whatever you got. You're going to need them, especially when I tell you what I need to tell you. Okay? So, I was doing my research as usual, and I came across something. And I said, oh no, here we go. So, 46 wants to ban the puff puffs. Okay? At an 11th hour of the facade of this administration. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Why? Because I don't smoke. I haven't smoked in 15 years. But yeah, this administration, they tried this last year, okay? But this administration was set to ban the menthol puff puffs. It was like April of last year, somewhere around there, until concerns arose that such a move would have negative political implications. So it didn't work last year. So hello, 11th hour. Hello, new prohibition. Hmm. So did you know that the government poisoned the alcohol during the prohibition? They did. So buckle up, kids, because maybe, just maybe, one needs to focus. Okay, focus on the nicotine part of this and why they want to ban it. Are there benefits to it? Let me take you down the memory trip. Okay. Remember when they tried to ban the vape? Okay, and certain devices that had the nicotine in it? Were there studies that were showing very low rate of the puffers? Okay, in hospitals during the pandemic 2020? Hmm? Why was that? Was it the nicotine? Was it? Why or what are they trying to stir up again and say that it's coming from the birds? Or, with just a week left in office, 46 is effectively trying to ban the puff puffs by reducing the nicotine levels by 98%. Might as well just blow air or suck on it or whatever, because this president, he delayed his action on these puffers and the menthol part, fearing it would anger a certain race during the election. I mean, there's dots to be connected here, okay? And the FDA is moving forward with a new rule in the final days of his administration that would ban most of these puffers currently on the market in favor of products with lower nicotine levels. And critics are warning that the move would fuel black market operations and benefit organized crime. That's why I said hello, new prohibition, because cartels, organized crime, they'll make billions buying tobacco from China or other countries, or grow their own. They'll have grow houses instead of Mary Jane will have tobacco. I mean, our government is not a weapon to force social change upon the people of America. All right. So if you are a puffer, okay, and you like the puffers, uh, be aware that this is what is coming in an 11th hour decision. Just saying. So now I'm going to put some pictures up for you from people that sent them in, okay? And this picture right here, she said, this thick fog, appears less than an hour after whatever that thing is in the sky. That thing that makes you go, love you. Love you too. Are you talking about the booms? Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's another picture that was sent in. And she said, he also said, this is a possibility. Sounds like some flashbacks to him Could be cleaning house of bad guys or dissidents or deportations, etc. Could be. You never know. You never know nowadays. You really don't. And it's kind of like, can't we just be normal? But then again, define normal. You can't anymore. There is no more normal after 2020. Hmm? There's the new normal, but even find a definition for that. You can't. Okay, so here's a video, okay, but I'm going to put up the screenshots for you as well. And this community member said, I do believe this is why they want to ban TikTok. And she said, we as truth speakers and seekers want folks to wake up and the newbies learn and know what to prepare for. Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm going to put these up for you, okay? And so the video is going to be up, and then here are also the comments to the video as well. Here you go.
One last word, which is, I hope this is my last time at this podium, at least for a little while. I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, the only thing that would bring me back is an unexpected event in the next few days, which, as you all know, is totally possible given everything you've seen over the course of the past years. But if it is, in fact, my last time before you, I just want to say thank you for what you guys do every day. Thank you for putting up with me. It's been an honor to be able to really try to illuminate these issues through tough probing and penetrating questioning. And can't say I've always enjoyed every moment up here, but I certainly have been privileged to be able to do it. So thank you guys for it.
Now, here's an email along with some pictures, all right? And they said, here are weird cloud formations that I took on a Sunday night at 10:26 p.m. In my 74 years, I've never seen anything like this before, and I'm in Rockwood, Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. I know who you are, sweetie. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, these are really strange. I've, I mean, to look at them, it's kind of like total cloud coverage with little spots in between where you could see the sky. And at 10:26 at night, you've got a lot of light there. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay, so here's some other stuff that came in, okay? And an email that says, yes, we hear the booms mostly at night. Now hearing them in the afternoon and evenings too. Yeah, we generally hear them only at night. And it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And she said, then 1 to a few days later, we have troubles with our cell phones, not with the internet, just the cell phones. Yeah, same here. Same here. And it's like, you're on the phone for like 30 seconds and then it keeps dropping the call, dropping the call, dropping the call. It's like, yeah, she said calls dropped. Messages sent on boom days received from 4 days to never after they were sent. Exactly. Not just here in my state, several others too, where I have friends and family I talk with, all report the same thing. Yep, same here. Same here. It's ridiculous, isn't it? She said, doesn't matter who your cell phone provider is, we all have glitches and problems with the cell phones, none with the internet during these incidents. No, yeah. But then again, I'm not, generally, we're in bed at that time. So, she said, only the cell phones. I'm in southwest bottom corner of Ohio. Kentucky, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, corner of Ohio. Oh, okay. I talk to people in southern states, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Canada, Chicago, Texas, Florida, California, Arizona. Oh, you're just everywhere, aren't you? Someone else wrote in and said, here in central Alabama, about 2 weeks ago, we had a thunderstorm that turned into a tornado warning. We were downstairs in a cement block house. Thunder sounded crazy and no touchdown tornado. But during the thunder, I remember right over the top of our house, the loud cracking and bumpy thunder shook our house. Oh, it felt, yet like something grabbing our house from above and shaking it. Being a very sturdy home, I don't know if I ever experienced this before. It seemed unusual stuff and maybe going down during the thunder. Jeez. That's scary, girl. Damn. So someone else wrote in and said, we're not experiencing the noise and the shaking, but could the noise and shaking be tectonic plates shifting underground? Maybe an earthquake in the making. We're due for a very large one. Just a thought or concern. It could be. You don't know. You know. Um, Someone else wrote in and said, I heard it in the early morning hours years ago. It freaked me out. Creepiest, most frightening noise I've ever heard. It never left me. Luckily, someone in Hertford, just down the road from me, was also awake and caught it on film. Oy. It was happening everywhere and everyone was talking about it. Then it went quiet. Why the hell shouldn't it be talked about? I'm still waiting for bloody answers. It was terrifying. Oh, she sent in a video. Okay, here you go. Okay, I had to move into another room because the kids came home, um, and they're watching TV out in the living room. So, continuing on with continuing on. The next email says, I understand the air quality situation, but this is just an excuse. Jackson County, Oregon has now decided to restrict use to fireplace and wood stove heat during certain times in the winter. The air quality here in the winter time is due to the fog that we get throughout the winter. I have lived in this county since I was 7 years old and I'm now 55. Nothing has changed. Our winter, we always get fog. I know over the years they have banned wood stoves, but what about fireplaces? I don't know. Because here in Florida, there's a lot of homes here that actually have fireplaces. So, I don't know. That's a really, really good question. That's a really good question. She said, now let's ban the use of wood stoves and the use of your fireplace so you can get an electric heater to use more electricity on the failing power grid. Yet it's still okay to burn your barrels outside. Yeah, I know. I get it. Believe me, if anyone gets it, it's me. So, someone else wrote in and said, smoke from wood stoves and fireplaces can contribute significantly to air pollution in the fall and the winter, especially during periods of air stagnation. The wood burning advisory was developed to restrict burning in solid fuel devices like wood stoves, fireplaces, etc. during high pollution episodes in the air quality maintenance area. The wood burning advisory designates days as green, yellow, or red, depending on the amount of particulate matter in the air. The wood burning advisory only applies to solid fuel burning devices, not open barrel burning. A certified wood stove or fireplace insert was manufactured after 1985 and has a permanently affixed Oregon DEQ or a US EPA certification label. If you do not know if your wood stove is certified, then you need to contact who you need to contact. Now, there are exemptions. You may be eligible for an exemption from the wood burning restrictions if you meet certain requirements. Only one type of exemption is issued for each household, and they have to be renewed every year. An exemption for economic need to burn solid fuel for residential space heating purposes may be issued for heads of households who can show that their family income is less than 80% of the median income level for Medford metropolitan area, as established by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. And then there's special needs. Upon showing a special need, as further defined by the administrative rule, a temporary exemption may be granted authorizing the burning solid fuel burning device. And special need include, but not limited to, occasion when a furnace or special heating system is inoperable, other than through the owner's operator's own actions or neglect. Interesting. So this was sent in by a community member, and this is for Ventura County, California, with a new wildfire. Um, I didn't cover this one, and this was for the 14th of January. Ventura, California is now on fire. They are 67.7 miles west of LA. This new wildfire comes just one day after National Weather Service warned that a new round of high winds was coming to California. Um, Radio reports coming from fire trucks indicated they were out of water. In addition, mandatory evacuation orders were issued for residents near the auto fire between Ventura and Oxnard, California. The fire is spreading rapidly with high winds. And then there was a new fire that was reported erupting in San Bernardino, California. So this is just, it's getting worse, guys, okay? It's getting worse, and God help the people of California. So here is an email from a community member. She said, I just watched your video and left a comment about the booms. I thought I'd share a little more in depth and also share another boom story too. I live in northern Utah, a quiet little town. There's a large ski resort about 3 miles from my house, and they regularly do mitigation avalanche control with large charges. I've heard them my whole life and know exactly what they sound like. This was not that. Those charges sound distant and more like a firework than these booms sounds like. They certainly don't shake my house. About a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, it was a beautiful sunny day. I had sent all the kids off to work and to school. My husband has Fridays off, so we were getting ready to run some errands. I had just come back inside from cleaning out the chicken coop, and I jumped in the shower. I wasn't in there for 10 minutes when I heard and felt a boom and rumbling. My husband came running from the living room and asked if I had felt that. I finished up real quick and grabbed my towel. We both watched out the window as our power lines on the street swaying back and forth really good. I quickly got dressed and texted my neighbor. She thought I was nuts. My husband went outside to talk to another neighbor who had been outside when the noise happened. He had no idea what we were talking about either. I looked at my earthquake app, and saw nothing for days. Still not sure what to make of that experience. Another experience happened just a couple of weeks ago. I was down with a stomach bug. So I was laying in bed. About 1 p.m., I started hearing very loud booms, not avalanche mitigation. These booms were rattling my windows and shaking my bed. My dogs were going nuts outside. My cats were freaking out, running all over the place. These booms lasted for a few hours and then disappeared as mysteriously as they appeared. I had walked to my back door to let the dogs out. It sounded like the booms came from the sky. When I laid back down in bed, it sounded like they were coming from a couple streets over on the ground. My neighbors were away when this happened, so no one asked if they heard it too. It's just bizarre, but I haven't heard them for a few weeks now. Anyway, I just wanted to share my experiences. Yes, thank you so much. We haven't heard the booms for about, I want to say a week. Yeah, it's been about a week, but I don't think it's the end of them. I really don't, you know. I think this is something that I don't know if they're testing or if this is like a new thing. Um, I really don't know what's going on. I don't even know what the hell they are. So someone else wrote in and said, I have been looking for months for this video to send you. I realize that it's lengthy. Yeah, it's like 5 hours long, but it's so worth it. This was one of the very first videos that, I don't want to say it woke me and Sean up, but it made us realize how deep this stuff really does go. And I highly, highly, highly recommend this video. I mean, I realize you're not going to sit here and watch it for 5 hours, but it is so worth just watching maybe half an hour here, half an hour there. I mean, I highly recommend it. You want to talk about rabbit holes. You want to talk about deep dive. You want to talk about, I mean, this guy was talking about Diddy before Diddy even, I mean, okay, I'm just saying. So he said that one of the most rabbit hole videos you will ever find. This will help you catch up on a few things if you haven't already. Yeah, I've watched this, I want to say maybe twice. Yeah. He said this video does have some adult content. Yeah, I know it does, but it's, and people, a lot of people who will watch it, they'll be like, this can't be true. No. When I tell you, it's so true and so scary. It's what nightmares are made out of. And it's just a guy sitting there just talking. And he literally talks about the levels that these celebrities will go through in order to achieve the level of fame that they want to get to. Yeah. He said, but it's necessary for you to know the truth. And it's true. If you want to know the truth, I skirt around everything that this man is saying in his video. I have skirted around. Okay? Because I know that if I come out and say anything about this and dig into more of what he is talking about, you can say bye-bye to me. Okay? There were only 3 or 4 spots that I found that were incorrect. The rest, however, is pretty accurate. As dreadful as it is, I would suggest breaking it into 6 or 10 sections, making a mini-series for yourself to post. No, I won't. I won't, because like I said, I've skirted around it, but I won't do that. I won't, because I'm not willing to give up my channel and give up my relationships that I've made with so many people for that. I won't. And he said, while I'm telling you how to run your channel, you should start doing 10 or 15-minute lives. Yeah, I wish I could, but my house is too chaotic for that. Yeah. He said, with a lot of interaction in the chat, like survey questions or okay, well, the link will be in the description box below. Okay. Someone had left a comment on one of my videos about insurance companies dropping customers, and they told me to look into Idaho. Well, I did. One town in Idaho called Placerville. It's a town of 53 people. Okay. It is not what home insurance companies are looking for, and residents are being dropped from their homeowners insurance policies because Placerville is considered to be wildfire prone area. Okay, so all eyes on Idaho right now. Okay, several communities around the Gem State have faced wildfires in 2024, and the National Interagency Fire Center said that 1.2 million acres of land burned in 2024 in the Great Basin, which includes Idaho, Nevada, and Utah. And within that, 52 homes burned altogether in Idaho, 38 burned in the Gwen fire, GWEN, 8 in the Wapiti fire, 4 in the Texas fire, 1 in the Paddock fire, and 1 in the Lava fire. Placerville was spared, though, but fires still came relatively close. And some insurance companies are dropping clients and telling others that they will not be renewed, or even in some cases, homeowners who avoided damage are raising monthly rates to levels that no one can afford. Yeah, so. All right, guys, I leave you with a few videos that were sent in by community members, okay? And I bid you adieu. All right. Ciao.
First, before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire. So
Leaked memo reveals LA Mayor Karen Bass demanded her fire department cut an extra $49 million just 1 week before wildfires broke out. This shocking revelation, buried in an internal memo, never meant for public scrutiny, highlights a catastrophic failure in leadership. The details are both alarming and unforgivable. The proposed removal of one fire station per district, leaving entire neighborhoods exposed. The memo even acknowledges a lack of water pressure in fire hydrants, an issue that compounded the devastation during the fires. This isn't just negligence, mismanagement of the highest order. From the mayor to the fire chief to the governor, this failure transcends local government. They've lost the trust of their closest supporters, and with it, their mandate to lead. For the good of the people of Los Angeles and California and the United States, for the safety of this city, they must step down immediately and willingly. Angelenos deserve better, and the crisis demands accountability now.
There's a potential that I will receive a lot of hate and misunderstanding in this video, but it's the risk I'm willing to take. In the social media world, you cannot control what other people hear, and they pick and choose what you say, twist it, and then hate on you or accuse your character. I'm taking a risk. I ask that you give me 5 minutes of your time. If you need to save this for later, go ahead and save it. For the facts I'm about to share, I need to establish who I am. My name is Mary Reyna. I've been boots on the ground in Western North Carolina since day 5. I started going throughout all the counties serving families, and then I was hired as the operations manager for the nonprofit Patriot Relief. I am out in the field through multiple counties in WNC for anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day. This is an example. This was my daily travel on Sunday. I was in Mitchell County, Bumpkin County, Marshall County, Yancey, Polk, multiple counties in one day. That was my route that I took. This ain't going to be pretty. Those are my boots that I wear every single day. And you know why I have to wear these thick boots still? That stuff you see at the end of my shoe ain't mud. We've got counties that have major plumbing issues. We are still doing recovery in certain counties, specifically Polk. Do you see this debris pile? Under there, things are still being found. Scents are still being found. The debris has all washed to certain areas and pile up significant piles. We are still doing recovery out in certain counties. So with that being established, please trust what I'm saying is facts. I would never want to fabricate anything. In fact, I slam down any rumor and I say that is not true. With all of that being said, I've got some things to say about what is happening and our government's response of what is happening out in California versus their lack of response of the devastation in North Carolina. Now, I am from California. I moved to North Carolina from San Diego. I owned a home in Oceanside. My brother and his wife and niece and nephew are still out there outside of Los Angeles. They lost power. They had to deal with high winds and smoke and the schools being closed. Thankfully, all my family members and friends that I have been in touch with are all safe. With that being said, please know that what I'm about to share does not diminish the devastation of the fires in California. It is absolutely horrific, and we are diligently praying for the families, for the first responders, for the firemen to be able to contain these fires. But I cannot stay silent when I have seen firsthand the lack of response from our government out here in North Carolina and what they are doing right now in the devastation of California. I saw this morning. Biden says feds to cover 100% of costs for the initial LA fire recovery. FEMA assistance available. Let's talk about the government assistance in North Carolina. I have held so much facts back on my personal page out of protection of the families and stories. That ain't happening today. The news is reporting a little over 300 total loss of life count here in North Carolina. That's a bunch of BS. The first week alone in Bat Cave alone, the area of Bat Cave, the mountain collapsed. There were 1,000 loss of life. I was not present in that moment. I have spent time with hundreds of families. I have seen videos and photos and firsthand account when I've been serving the families. 1,000 in Bat Cave alone. Out of the hundreds of families that I have served, with the exception of 5 families, every single family was denied the $750 loan out program from our government. The majority of families that I have spoken with that paid into flood insurance year after year after year were denied an insurance claim because supposedly it was an act of God. We're now at 100 days. I've lost count, but I think we're at 100 days after the flood happened. And you know why I say flood instead of storm? Hear me out. I told you I wasn't going to hold back, and so I'm not holding back. Every single family in Swannanoa has told me the same story account. It had been raining up until September 27th, but the day of September 27th, with the destruction hit, it was not raining. Guess what came in? Every single family has told me this same account of flood. You know what that flood was? The dam that they released all in one moment, not inch by inch, all in one moment. Our families stood in their home and had no time to evacuate. This was not a typical hurricane. I grew up in Florida. I faced tornadoes and hurricanes. This was not a typical hurricane. They had literally, within 20 minutes, they couldn't get out of their home. They had to climb to higher ground and pray for something to happen while they watched their neighbors' homes float down this flood of water, and they stood in their homes hearing the cries of their neighbor screaming out for help at the top of their roofs. If they could make it to safety, they saw their neighbors float down that river. They saw their animals float down the river. If you come out to visit Western North Carolina, it's going to look devastating. You know why? There's been so much that's happened within 100 days, but the level of devastation was so huge, it's going to take years to rebuild. And what was our government's response? We'll give you $750 if you apply and if you qualify. If you qualify? What would not make you qualify? But I've had hundreds of families denied the $750, which would have bought maybe a week, 2 weeks of gas and groceries. And yet California gets this 100% backing. And President Biden told North Carolina within month 1 that the government's done all that they can for the state of North Carolina. I call bullshit. The reason why I'm speaking up today is because when I saw this happening, and let me tell you something, my friends and family are affected by these horrible fires. I'm invested in this on a personal level. But today, when I saw our government's response, I could not keep silent. I have been so conservative on my page with giving out facts of what's really going on with the lack of support from our government out here. I've got one more story to tell you. Polk County, specifically Tryon area, is not getting any attention. Asheville and Swannanoa have gotten a lot of media attention, and I've seen so many people drive by the Swannanoa River in the neighborhood of my families that we've been serving, pulling out their video camera and taking videos of devastation, not coming to help, not coming to serve, but Polk County has not received the media attention that they deserve. Last night, I got a call about a veteran who was still in a tent. Thankfully, the amount of people in tents has significantly dwindled. I've made videos about that. Praise God. Praise God we've got shelters and people out of the tents. But in this particular area, I got a call of a veteran man in a tent. The road is still broken out there. I couldn't get to him. So I got with my contacts. We were trying to reach people. I got a hold of an ATV, but at that point, it was too dangerous late at night for us to go out. I'm still trying to find ways to get to that man, to get him anything he needs to get him out of the tent, but at least warming supplies. And guess how all of this is happening? Through the American people. The government should be sending ATVs in. They should be still present, But even then, when they were present, they were in their nice little warm tents, providing food, providing restrooms, providing first aid. Appreciate it. But where are they now? That is the maximum our government has done. And guess what? January 10th, tomorrow, the FEMA hotel vouchers ran out. I think they extended it by 24 hours. God bless their hearts. The government gave us an extra 24 hours before the people have to figure out what the hell they're going to do now for shelter. That's what we're dealing with out here in North Carolina. I love you, California. You were my home for 16 years. I love you. I hate what's happening. But the American people needs to know. Everyone out here, every family that I've spoken with is convinced there was an ulterior motive of why the government did not respond to the devastation out here. And yet you vowed to have California